Welcome to Outlaw Woodworking. Today we're going to review Bambu Lab's 3D printer. And I recently purchased the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon with the AMS. And I'm going to attempt to make a Milwaukee drill holder that you see in this picture right here. And we're going to do it using Fusion 360. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not an expert on Fusion 360, but I am going to show you how easy it is to do. So basically I drew this in the morning and printed it in the afternoon. And I'm going to take you through step by step. We'll start off with Fusion 360, drawing it. Then we'll take and save it and bring it into Bambu Studio and slice it and then send it to the printer. And I'll take you along for the ride. Let's get started.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break his back for $1 or $2. Oh, there ain't no shame in what he do. Oh, work it out.
Okay, here we are in Fusion 360, and we're going to start our project. And we're going to go ahead and go up here. We're going to start from the side. The first thing we're going to do is create a rectangle. And I'm going to start right from the center. And we're going to go we're going to go 4 inches. We'll hit tab and then we'll go 8 inches. Enter. And there's our rectangle. So that's basically the start of our project right here. Now the first thing we need to do is our holes, because they're the hardest part. So we're going to create a line just so we know where the 1/4 inch mark is. So we're going to go down here right there and we'll go ahead and create a line at 0.25. Hit enter. There's one line right there. Now we know, so we're going to go ahead and create a line all the way across there. Right at 0.25. Okay, there's our control line for our first row of holes. We're going to have holes on each side, so we're going to do the same thing up here on this side. We'll go ahead and create a line at 0.25. Hit enter. And then we're going to go ahead and make a mark all the way across. And this will basically tell me where to put these holes at. Okay, there's our 2 control lines. Now what we want to do is we want to, okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw some holes. So we need to draw a hole, and we'll go ahead and start in the center of this thing right here, 0.125, which is 1/8 an inch, and that'll be our first hole. Now we're going to do these holes like every let's see, that's a 1/4 inch, so 1/2 inch. We're going to do them about every inch. So we'll go ahead and put another hole here. Same thing, 0.125. Hit enter. And then we'll go ahead and put another one. Let's see, right there. 0.125. Hit enter. Go ahead and do another one. Let's see, right there. 0.125. Gets a little tedious making these holes actually. The holes are actually the hardest part. And let's see. That's pretty good right there. So let's go the other way. And 0.125. Create another hole. 0.125. And 0.125. Okay. Now we should be able to just array this across the thing. So we're going to try that. Let's circle these holes. So we've selected those holes. Now we're going to go up here to mirror, 14 selected. That did not work. So we need a center line before we can do that. So we would go here, pick the center, and now let's select all those holes. Go up here to mirror, 14 selected. Now we're going to select the line. There we go. You can see it mirrored it all on the other side. Okay, now we're going to, oops, what happened there? Select line, select objects, and hit OK. Okay, now they're all there. Okay, so we have all the holes there. Now what we need to do, we're going to extrude this whole thing. Actually, what I want to do is I want to extrude just the base. Actually, let's get rid of this line. Get rid of this line. We're going to get rid of these two control lines. Now we have one solid base. We're going to go ahead and go up here to solid and extrude. We're going to go, our thickness of our material is 1/4 inch, so we'll put 0.25 and hit OK. So now when we look at this, you can see it's got the holes in it, and that's our whole base at the right thickness. Okay. Next thing we want to do to these holes is basically, these are in the center of each of these things. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do multiple holes, but we're going to do this little counterbore. And I'm going to select that. And okay, now we're going to do a counterbore on each hole. And it's a little, I think there's an easier way to do it, but this is the way that I figured out how to do it. So I've selected the face right here. I'm going to go up here to hole. And then all I have to do, I've already got my settings all in here. So I got the diameter, the counterbore, it's going to go down 1/4 inch. Now all I need to do is select that right there, and it'll make that counterbore. The only problem is it doesn't really let me do multiple at each time. So each time I gotta go up here, select it, done, OK, select it, repeat, and basically repeat that process. I think there's an easier way to do this, but right now this is the way I've figured out how to do it. So we'll just, for some reason, like if I select the face and I go up here to repeat the hole, if I try to go multiple, it won't let me do it. So I'll just select each one, hit OK, hit the face, and just repeat until I get them all selected. Okay, that's not that bad. I mean, but I know there must be an easier way. Leave a note in the comment. Fusion's 360 is a little different than the AutoCAD program that I used to use. So, and I used to be able to, it was pretty easy to make multiple holes, but I think when you're doing a 3D design, it's a little bit different. Anyway, this is how I figured out how to do this part of it. So I'm just gonna click through 3 more holes, and then I'll show you what that looks like. One more of these. There. Okay. Hit OK. Now if you basically, if you zoom in there, you can see that hole is nicely recessed, so that screw head will fit right in there, and these are all centered where they want to be. Okay, next thing we need to do is we need to build the socket part of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a sketch. We're going to be on top of this face. So we're going to go a half inch in. So we'll go ahead and put 0.5, enter, and then we're going to go ahead and from there we're going to go straight across. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, 0.5, and create another line there. Okay, now that should have separated those two, so we'll go ahead, so this is the base of it. We're going to go ahead and select this, and this is going to be 3 inches tall. We're going to extrude this, and I'll show you how simple this is. Go over here, distance 3 inches, hit OK, and if we now you can see there's the body of it. Of course, right now that's a solid block, and we don't really want a solid block there. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this part, and we want to basically go up here and we're going to shell this, and we want the inside thickness to be 1/4 inch. So we'll type 1.25, and there we go. Okay, so now you can see it has a back and it's all hollowed right there. Perfect. Now let's see, let's rotate this around a little bit. Okay, now on this face right here, what we want to do is cut out a section. So we're going to go up here to line. We already know this is 3 inches. That's a 3 by 8. And what we need to do, we need to take 1 3/4 inches out of there. So that's basically the halfway mark. So 1 3/4 inches. So we need let's go ahead and go to the center. So it's 3 inches. Let's go 1.5. And there's our center mark right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a rectangle from the center. We'll basically do 2. So we're going to do the inside cut that we need to make is 1 3/4 inches. So 1 3/4 inches divided by 2 is 0.875. So we'll go ahead and type 0.875 and hit enter. So that's half of our rectangle right there, but we didn't do the length properly. So basically, let's create another rectangle from that point, and we'll go ahead and put 1.75, and then we'll hit tab, and then we'll put 4 inches, tab. So there's our actual rectangle. Now we can get rid of this other one, and we can get rid of this control line. Okay, so now, okay, we got another control line right here. Let's get rid of that. And there's our box. Now what we want to do, we want to cut this out. So we're going to go up here to hit solid and then extrude. And what we want to do is we're going to go the opposite direction, but we're going to cut. We'll go ahead and put negative 0.25, and that should cut that out. So if we were to look at it, there it is, cut out. So this part is a lot simpler than the holes. The holes take the longest to do. Okay, the next thing we want to do, we kind of want to put a little bit of some detail on this thing to make it a little more unique. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up here to insert and down here to SVG, and we're going to go in here from my computer. We're going to grab this Milwaukee SVG logo and see where it came in at. And there it is. Now what we want to do, we want to rotate this thing to there, right there. And we also want to scale this down. We're going to go over here to scale plane, and we're going to put 0.5, about half the size of what it was. And we're going to move that. And we'll go ahead. Go ahead and hit OK. So there it is right there. Okay, once we have it where we want it, we're going to extrude it. And we've got it all selected. We're going to extrude it 1/8 of an inch. So 0.125. 25. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. Now if we were to rotate this, we should be sticking out. And there it is. So it's sticking out right where we want it. Okay, there's some other little details that we can do to this. Now one of the things we can do is we can curve a few of these edges. So we'll go up here to fillet, and we're going to do about let's do 1/2 an inch, 0.5. You can see how it radius that right there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do multiples. So we're going to go ahead and go, we'll hit OK. So we're going to repeat that. Fillet command. And we're going to do 1/2 inch again. And hit OK. So there you can see we've kind of radiused those two where the drill goes in. Now what we could do, we could round off a lot of these corners to make it even nicer. So I think we will do that. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to select this. We're going to go ahead and fillet. We'll do a small, they're 1/4 inch, so let's do 0.125. We'll do 1/8 inch. And you can see how it radiused that right there. And we'll hit OK. And we're going to do this outside one over here too. 0.125. So we've got those two outside ones radius. Now to make it look good, we're going to go ahead and do this one over here. Same thing, 0.125. Now, so we got so if you look, we've got all these sides filleted right there. Now I think it would be cool to, let's do these inside corners too. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to hit this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And let's fillet it. See how far that goes. 0.125. Hit OK. So you can see it kind of rounded out everything really nice like that. And we've got a couple more. I'm not going to do the outside edges, but I am going to do this piece right here. Hold the shift key, that piece. And we'll go 0.125. Okay, that is our drill holder. And you can see it came out pretty nice. Got the holes, everything. That looks really good. Okay, next up we need to save this and export it to our Bambu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, I'm going to hit save. So I'm going to walk you through how to make this. So right here, I'm going to hit save, save. Now I'm going to go up here to File, Export, Drill Holder, Autodesk. Now we need to export this as a STL. So you go down here to STL, hit STL, and we're going to go to, let's put it on the desktop so it's easy for me to find. And it's called Drill Holder, and we'll go ahead export. So I'm going to go create a new project. I'm going to grab the drill holder right here and place it in there. Now what we need to do, so now you're in Bambu Studio. Now we need to rotate this thing and make it so it's printable, and we want it to be on the base right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight it, and then you can basically, let's see, I want to rotate it on the red. So we're going to go ahead, rotate, let's undo that. We need a defined rotate. So file, undo what we just did. Okay, now what we need to do is go over here to the axis and type in 90 degrees. And there, we're right where we want to be right there. Okay, let's exit out of that. And actually that's perfect where we want to be. Okay. Now we need to do a few more things before we can send this to the printer. So right now it's facing up, and what we need to do is go over here to the left. So up here we have on the printer Bambu Lab X1 carbon, and you can see it has a 0.4 nozzle. Now it has a textured PE plate, so that's right. Now what we want to do is we want to change this filament, because we're going to use Bambu PLA Basic, and now we're gonna hit supports. Actually, I don't know if it needs any. No, it doesn't need any supports. Let's layer height. All that looks good. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go ahead and slice it and see what happens. Different types of supports. So now if we go ahead, we'll eliminate that. We'll go down the slicer, and it'll show you everything it's going to do. So this one's pretty basically easy. It doesn't really need any supports. The Milwaukee thing's only an 1/8 inch, so it shouldn't have to have any of those supports at all. Okay, now color scheme. I want this to be red. Is there a preview? That's the preview. Device, prepare, project, preview. Okay. I think this is ready to go to the printer. So let's go ahead and go over to the printer, and I'll do a time lapse of this, and we're going to print it in red. Hopefully we can just select red on the printer, and that should work. And let's go over here to print. And it shows, now here's where we can select the color, I think. This says PLA, but it doesn't have the color. It says Outlaw Printer. Click here if you can connect. So this will be when we send it to the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the printer and get this thing ready to go. I'll see you over at the printer. Here you can see it's preheating the bed. It's at 0%. It's all loaded. It's got the red filament loaded, ready to go. It's a PLA Plus red by eSun. And when it starts doing anything, it'll actually automatically start recording in a time lapse. It is going to take about 5 hours and 25 minutes. So we'll see what happens. And here you can see the time lapse. This is 5 hours and 25 minutes, I believe, to make this thing. Now, one thing that I probably, if I need to make about 5 more of these. And one thing I probably won't do is print the raised Milwaukee letters on the side, because even though they look real cool, and I'll show you after this thing gets done printing what they look like, because of the supports that get printed on the side to basically hold up the letters as it's printing, it makes it hard to get the supports out in between the letters. So I think if you're going to do any raised letters, you should plan on the raised letters being flat so it doesn't require any supports to make them. And right here you can see it's finishing up, and that's the end of it. And there you can see the raised letters, and they were hard to clean out in between the letters, clean out the support. And there you can see all the it came out really nice, actually. This is the third thing that I've printed on the Bambu Labs X1 Carbon, and all 3 items that I printed came out perfect. I didn't have any hiccups, and there you can see it up on the wall. Anyway, the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon, I'd have to give it a big thumbs up. It was super easy to set up. It only took me taking it out of the box and setting up about 15 minutes. And I was able to print 3 different things. I actually downloaded these little Christmas tree ornaments you see in the picture. But yeah, I was able to design a couple different things and print them, and they all came out really nice. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Later.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break